I sit in front of you right now, a changed man. If I was a boy this morning, by the end of the day, I might as well be considered a big grown man because I just watched Cyberpunk Edge Runners. And I'm pleased to say that it did not let me down. Like, I personally was not a big fan of Cyberpunk 2077. I played it a couple months ago in its more fixed state, I'd say, but still, the story was kind of all over the place. But in the case of the anime here, it is a completely different story. Now, if you have no idea what Cyberpunk Edge Runners is even about, you've never heard of Cyberpunk, let me fill you in here. So, Cyberpunk Edge Runners follows the story of a boy who lives in Night City in the same setting. I'm pretty sure this is also canon to the game. So, if you've played the game, you'll probably have some sort of like experience going into the show, like knowing like the environment, the characters, like the what the world is like. And as you know, if you do know, the world is a very unforgiving place. Pretty much, it's an outlaw city where everyone's sort of out for themselves. You know, you have mercenaries, the police. There's corruption. There's or big corporations battling it out, like duking it out in like the financial realm. And it goes way deeper than that also. Now, before you continue in this video, I want to preface that this will contain very like minor spoiler stuff you'll get from like probably mostly the first episode of the show, and just be mindful of that as you're going through. If you don't want to get even mild or minorly spoiled, please just click off of this right now. Now, the show follows the story of a kid named David, and he grows up in a very poor household with only his mother, and through unforeseeable events, he happens to stumble upon the cyberpunk world, the gangs, the organizations that sort of run the underground mercenary ops, pretty much. Now, with these other mercenary slash cyberpunks that he meets, they're absolutely amazing characters. I personally think. I think they're really well like put together. They all have their own like little niche, and they all kind of they flow really well. The show feels very well written and put together. It feels like a lot of care was given to the characters and the way that they interacted and the plot that kind of drove them to how they interact. And that brings me to the plot, which I'm a very big sucker for plot. I like a lot of plot. I like heavy plot, heavy big backstory, like a big dick, like you know everything's dark. I like stuff like that. That's why I like ReZero a lot, because it goes a lot deeper. While it is surface level, the story does go a lot deeper, and that's what I also like here. And with the way they drove the plot, with the first episode, they really drag you in. They really tug on your heartstrings right away, and I think that was really important. I think a lot of shows have good pilot episodes, or their first episodes. They really run it to the end goal here, and I think that's really important. And by the end, you really get to like feeling for the characters, and yeah, you know, I've had some tears out myself. Now, but let's step away from the plot, because that's kind of more spoiler territory. Now, I want to talk about the animation. Now, I'm not a big sucker for animation. I think any animation will do. I'm not one of those people that goes on Twitter and they start to complain like, "Oh guys, CGI, they ruined it. Guys, look at that. It looks like a piece of mud that just they threw in. They took a picture of it and they pasted it into the show." Now, I'm not really like that. I don't really care that much for CGI. What I really want to more talk about is mostly the hand-drawn animations that was done by the people over at Trigger, which is they absolutely blew it out of the park with this one. The only other show that I've seen from them is Darling in the Franxx, which I'm not sure what they did there or what they did in tandem with A1, so I'm not really going to talk about that, but and here it is absolutely amazing. The fight scenes, they do not skimp out a second on any of the fights. If there is action in Cyberpunk Edge Runners, you best believe that action will be absolutely amazing. It will blow your socks off. Now, another point that I do want to make that actually goes against the show. I feel like this Cyberpunk Edge Runners and a lot of other shows and like anime movies in general kind of suffer from. They suffer from a problem that is it's like short run time. So usually animes, a lot of them will run for about 12 episodes. And they'll run for like a season, right? Or you'll have like an anime movie that runs for maybe 1 to 2 hours, maybe. In this case, it was 10 episodes and it ran for about, I think it took me about 4 hours to finish it, right? But by the end, while I love the main cast, I think the problem lies a lot with the bad guys. So there were times in the show where I kind of I'm like, oh, okay, I'm really enjoying this, and then out of nowhere, just a new bad guy will pop up, and it's like, oh, wait, who's this again? Does he work for Arasaka? Does he work for Militech, or is he just like a random merc out on the street that's out to get David? Now, over time, they really do like they build up the antagonist really well, but it's just really jarring at the start to just get like such a weak introduction to a lot of the antagonists in the show. Now, that's really where most of my criticism lies, because you get like this amazing cast in the amazing world of Cyberpunk that they delve you into, right? And an amazing protagonist, I think, and you just kind of get these like lackluster like uh, textbook antagonists that kind of are there to just, oh, I want him. I want him. He is the bad. He is the bad guy. We have to get him, guys. And I know I just went off on like a really long tangent about like how the antagonist wasn't built up like properly, but I really think if they just had like 10, 12 more episodes to just build out and flush out the characters and the world like completely, they would have had an actual like unforgettable, perfect masterpiece. No, but yeah, all in all, I think this show is absolutely amazing. I think everyone should really, toss it in the ringer, give it a fair rundown, a good shakedown, It's only 10 episodes, not that long, only about 4 hours, as I said earlier. Yeah, I'd say in this show, there's really something that I think anyone can find something that they like about Cyberpunk Edge Runners, right? And yeah, the parting words there, I could really go on about this for days probably if I really really wanted to, but I'm not. I'm just gonna leave it here. I think this is a perfect review for it. Just yeah, take care, do something you like, and until next time.